and welcome to the video. Today is the last part in this series, and we will be exploring the weapons used by Soviet soldiers and paratroopers in the Afghan conflict. I hope you enjoy. Starting off, we have the rifles. The most common one to be used was the AK-74. The AK-74, or automatic Kalashnikov model of 1974, was a Soviet assault rifle calibered in 5.45 by 39. This rifle replaced the older AKM, which we will explore later. The AK-74 was made out of mostly wood, metal, and partially bakelite materials. It had a 30-round bakelite magazine, which was famous for its orange-like color. The rifle had a selector switch with safe, semi-automatic, and fully automatic, which changed the firing modes. The AK-74 was a variant that featured a folding stock for paratroops. Both models entered service in time for the Soviet-Afghan War. One common modification done by paratroopers was to add a bandage and tourniquet to the folding stock. This practice is still done to this very day. The AK-74 and AK-74 could use the Izmash bayonet, which was commonly on the kits of Soviet soldiers. Next, we have the AK-74U. The 74U is a version of the AK-74, which featured a shorter barrel and different iron sights. It was more of a carbine as opposed to a full rifle. This model was most common with some paratroopers and tankers. Both the AK-74 and AK-74U were used in combination with the 3-cell AK mag pouch. More information about the equipment used can be found in the previous video. The Pt.3 grenade launcher was used by grenadiers. It was attached to the AK-74 and AK-74. It was effective against infantry and light vehicles. A squad's light machine gun was the RPK-74. The RPK-74 was a light machine gun based on the AK-74. It fired the same cartridge and had a pretty similar design. The main differences were that the RPK featured a different stock, a longer barrel, and a folding bipod. It also used a 45-round magazine as opposed to the 30-round magazine from the AK-74. It was carried with the 4-cell AK mag pouch, which could accommodate the larger magazines. Moving on, we have the PKM machine gun. The PKM was a medium machine gun chambered in 7.62 by 54 mmR. This was the same round used by the Mosin Nagant. The weapon was belt-fed and would usually carry between 100 and 250 rounds. The PKM was introduced in 1969 and is still used in active service with many countries such as Russia and Ukraine. Now we have the SVD sniper rifle. The SVD was designed to support Soviet infantry and airborne squads with a marksman capability. The rifle was made out of metal and wood. It featured a 10-round detachable magazine. It looked similar to some of Kalashnikov's rifles. The sight on the rifle provided good magnification and featured a rangefinder built into it. Like all the weapons mentioned above, it is still used in active service. The rifle was used with a special pouch that could accommodate 4 magazines. The pistols used were the PM Makarov and Pt.3. The PM was chambered in 9 by 18 Makarov. It featured an 8-round detachable magazine. It was first introduced in 1951. The PM was carried in a leather holster that also had room for a spare magazine. The Pt.3 was a Soviet pistol from World War II. Designed to replace the old Nagant 1895 pistol, the TT was semi-automatic and featured an 8-round detachable magazine. The pistol was chambered in 7.62 by 25 Tokarev. The pistol saw some although limited use by Soviet forces in the Afghan War. Like the PM, it had a leather holster which had a slot for a spare magazine. Next, we have the RPG-7. The RPG was a reusable shoulder-fired anti-tank rocket launcher. It fired a heat or high-explosive anti-tank charge that was effective against tanks and groups of infantry. Different types of warheads could be used as well. A sight for this weapon known as the PG-07 was seen in service. Again, this weapon is still in use by many countries. The RPG gunner used a special backpack to hold a few warheads while the assistant also held a few. Last but not least, we have the AKM. The AKM was a modernization of the AK-47. It featured a 30-round detachable magazine and was chambered in 7.62 by 39. It saw limited service by some Soviet soldiers due to its replacement by the AK-74. With that being said, these were the most common weapons used. Plenty of lesser common variants do exist. Many of these weapons could also use different optics, which I did not mention. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. At the time of recording, I have 209 subscribers, for which I am thankful. Like always, if you have corrections to make, please let me know, and I'll add them into the pinned comment. Take care, everyone. Next series will be starting soon.